Hello everyone and welcome to my new Let's Play of Spyro the Dragon. However, unlike my last two previous Let's Plays, this is not blind at all. I have played this game to death. Like, when I... Fuck, already an interruption. Alright, now that I already got interrupted and any sort of semblance of momentum is completely lost, let's start the game. Alrighty then. In the world of dragons.
Okay, rolling.
Oh, it's been peaceful here in the 5 worlds, or is it 6? For a dragon's age. We now have 12,000 treasure, or is it 14,000? What about this Gnasty Gnorc character? Now, I understand he's found a magic spell to turn gems into warriors for his cause.
I'll take that question. Nasty Gnorc is a simple creature.
Simple!
He has been contained in a remote world and is no threat to the Dragon Kingdom. No threat! Besides, he is ugly. That does it!
Looks like I've got some things to do.
It's funny, when I hear the voices in this game, I'm like, where else have I heard them from? Because I know I've heard them to death from this game, because I played it a lot when I was younger. But I'm like, where else has these guys worked in? Like, one of those dragons, I was like, is that Lex Luthor?
Thank you for releasing me, Spyro. Free 10 dragons in the Artisan World. Then find the balloonist. He'll transport you to the next world.
What about Nasty Gnorc? I'm going after him.
Find dragons first. That's all I can tell you.
Yeah, they're supposed to give you, like, basically a hint as to how you're supposed to keep progressing the things. And the way you make it ultimately to Nasty Gnorc is through the balloonist. They, once you take enough of their trips, eventually they'll take you to Nasty Gnorc. I've always thought it was strange how, like, some people actually pronounce it Gnasty Gnorc, even though the G is supposed to be silent. Or maybe they're making fun of strange grammar laws. Alright. Alright, come on. Let's see, where is it? Alright, yeah. Usually what I like to do is I like to collect every treasure in, like, the main hub world, and then, like, and then go into every single, like, world and 100% each of those. And what I liked about Spyro was that even though it may not have been completely apparent that you could, it is possible to 100% every single world from the beginning of the game. It's just that you learn a few new techniques as you keep going. Now, and another thing that's surprising me right now is I'm playing this on the PS3. And if you don't know what happened, my PS3 basically bricked, and I had to, like, call Sony and pay a certain amount of money to get a new one. And what everyone says is these new PS3s are not backwards compatible, so I thought, okay, they don't run PS1 games, PS1 or PS2 games. But as it turns out, they actually do run PS1 games, they just don't run PS2 games. I gotta wonder the logistics of that, but it's like, yeah, how exactly does that work? It's like you can't run this format and but you can run this one, or you can run this format but not that one. All right. The way anyway, the thing about this game is it's actually very similar to Super Mario 64. The more I think about it, it's like you go around trying to collect things. You go around exploring levels and go with, like, some end goal. But I think this is actually a little more refined than Super Mario 64. Like, I'll admit, Super Mario 64 was definitely more ambitious than this one. Like, this one kind of feels like a rather... it kind of feels like what... I don't know, it feels like a very easy attempt at a platforming game. Whereas Super Mario 64 felt like you could tell it was trying something a bit different. You know, but at the same time, this one, I think, holds up a little better than 64. Although, one thing that is a little striking about this game is the controls are a little laggy. Like, it takes a little bit of time to get used to. Like, it's not as... Admittedly, it's not complicated at all. It's just that for something in this genre, you would expect it to be much, like, just a little bit more user-friendly. I mean, it's not user horrendous. It's just, yeah. And 3D platforming has sort of like gone like down in popularity. What the thing about 3D platforming was, platforming was pretty, or the genre of like just jumping on things and moving on. You know, an obstacle course through jumping. That was the genre, and I just collected 100%. That was the genre in the earlier days, and so Hey, Thomas, I didn't know that was a real name.
Hey, Spyro, press the jump button twice to glide, and don't be afraid.
Afraid? Of what?
Falling from high mountain peaks, plummeting into prehistoric glaciers.
Oh, that.
Let me think. I already forgot what I was just talking about. Expert Let's Player, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see. Well, now I'm done with the treasure, so I'm just collecting the dragons.
Where's Nasty Nork? I'll torch him.
Keep your horns on, Spyro! You have much to learn first. Do you know what the dragonfly following you is doing? His name is Sparks, and he's helping and protecting you. Keep an eye on him and see what I mean.
Yeah, and it also feels like the thing is, in the early days of video games, a lot of the voice work for this stuff was not that well respected. So only a few voice actors would repeatedly work in this field. So you're prepared to hear a lot of repeating voice actors just trying to hide themselves.
Cool Flash, do that again.
The Artisan's boss is through a portal in the Dragon Mouth, but you are not yet ready, Spyro. First you must complete one of the other Artisan lands.
Yeah, this is an interesting limitation. The fact that you can't, most of the time the boss, in every other world, you can pretty much go directly to him. Like, if I'm not mistaken, it just gives you like a super treasure. Like a more treasure than the average place. But, you know... but, you know, it's not really that limited. It doesn't have to be the last thing you do anyway. What I just did was I touched on all the 5 platforms. Later on, you get a hint saying that there's a hidden place here. So this is what I meant by even if things aren't completely aware even if you aren't completely aware of it, you can 100% every level. Yeah. Start at treasure trove. And what did the guy say? 14,000 is the ultimate amount of treasure we can get? Well, let's see. We can get there. Alright. These levels are both really nerve-wracking and also really, really relaxing. Like, they're kind of chill, but also kind of, you know... Ah, shit. Yeah, I fucked up. Yeah, I need to... Ah, screw it. I'm gonna go into the Cave of Happiness and just collect all the treasure chests. This would actually be the mission I usually... This would be the part I usually take on last. But who knows. This is a mission where you can take it any number of ways, and there is no necessarily wrong answer. It's only wrong if you can't get all the treasures. And here, it's very much open to options. You know, when you do that in a lot of other games, the problem with giving too many options is that it just means like a lot of times it's just the first option you get. It's simple and it's kind of easy. But I think this one kind of lets you focus in on just like getting the minimum distance you need to get to areas. And I probably shouldn't like be leaving the airplane guys in this level to last, because the airplane guys I remember would screw me up the most. Oh wait, no, they're not going to be left last. They're going to be left almost last. Hey, this is kind of cool, all these, the different types of challenge they present, or the different types of appeal, that these levels have. Like, this is sort of, just beat the time, you know, sort of obstacle course sort of thing. But then you got other levels, which are basically just open areas that it's just, like, explore. Find all the treasures that you can, just look for secrets. You know, there are some levels that are just like, that are somewhat linear, but then there are other ones which are very much open. So, and I like the more open ones because it kind of just lets you try to find stuff at your own, in your own way. You know, and I know a lot of other people really do like that sort of expression through how you play the game sort of thing. So I'm pretty sure you saw that man's eyeball come out. And here's the thing, when Spyro has collected someone's treasure, he's pissed off that they don't have more. So when he stabs people with his horns, their eyes fall out and he collects them. If he eats enough of them, he'll gain a new life. I'm pretty sure that's not what it actually is, but it makes sense to me. Anyway. I'm not sure whether this is a valid complaint to say that this game feels a little grind-happy, because in many respects, like, you don't really need to put a lot of effort to take down these treasure chests. But at the same time, you know, you're still being rewarded. So it actually does have also a bit of the abnegation element that other games, particularly games that are considered RPGs, have. And I'm sure you heard that little number right there. That guy. Yeah, he's gonna be interesting because, like, he has those, he's one of those guys you just chase. I think a dragon kind of fills you in, but basically what he is, he's stolen a dragon egg, and you're supposed to go and try to, like, recover it back. Yeah. Enemies in this game are either really easy or really cheap. Again, this was in the early era of 3D, so no one really knew, like, there was no standard at the time. You know, and admittedly, in the NES era, there was no standard, but they had some experience in, like, what games could be with, like, stuff that was popular in the arcade, such as Pac-Man, Super Mario Brothers, and Donkey Kong. You know, but in this game, it's like we're dealing with completely different mechanics, and it's hard to refine those.
Spyro, my friend, how about a hint on gliding?
You bet.
For the longest glide, press the X button at the top of a jump, and try pressing the triangle button to drop down in mid-flight.
For some reason, I associate that man's voice with Metal Gear Solid. I have no idea why. Or maybe it's because this is a PS1 game. Then again, I'm playing it on a PS3. Then again, they all have the exact same controller. Well, almost. This one has a little more marshmallowy shoulder pads. See? This area always kind of annoyed me because I was never sure whether I was treading old ground because all these hills look the same. But, as I said earlier, kind of an, sort of an appeal of this game is, like, exploring areas you haven't found yet. And this is what I really like about this. Like, even though things are very open and many times do feel very empty, I love the color in this. I just love the look of so many of the areas, except for the swamp region, which always kind of bored me. But yeah, I love just the look of this game. From what I understand, this is sort of trying to fill the niche of just, like, PS1 platformers, of which there were not many successful ones. The publisher of this game, Universal, did, however, own the rights to the other big successful platformer of the PS1 era, and that was Crash Bandicoot, which was owned by Naughty Dog. If you're wondering, a lot of people wonder, like, why did Crash start to suck after the PS1? During the PS2 era. And, well, it wasn't Naughty Dog anymore. Yeah, it's just another Universal company developing it. But Naughty Dog, I don't think.
After you freed all the dragons, pass through this fancy vortex thingamajigger. It'll take you back to the artisan home. But first, let me tell you a story.
No thanks. See ya.
But yeah, if I'm not mistaken, like, all Spyro and Crash games are just developed by a random studio in-house at Universal, or at Universal's game studios. Yeah, that'd be weird if they were if the game studio was developing directly at Universal Studios Orlando or Hollywood. This seems to be a rambling episode. I'm not sure whether or not that's a good thing or not. But maybe I'll just all of a sudden say something hugely embarrassing and people say, the fuck did he just say? Yeah. Yeah, room full of treasure. Alright. So yeah, grinding up those treasure chests.
When you free a dragon or step on one of their platforms, you're saving your progress. That could be useful if you run into trouble. Not that you ever run into trouble, Spyro.
Is it just me or did he get cut off? Alright, I should probably save here. Like, for some reason there are fairies that just chill out here. And then they zap you when they just feel like it. Oh wait, no, that's that's Spyro, that's Spyro 2. What is it, Ripto's Rage? Or is it Year of the Dragon? So yeah, get close enough to these things and like the key should automatically activate. So apparently Spyro is also telekinetic.